So no matter what your grade is at this exact second, for finals, this is the thing I want to make sure you understand. Let's say that you are at an A minus for a grade right this second. You need something significantly higher than that to bring you up. Like your next test, which is the final, needs to be significantly higher than an A minus. Do you get it's kind of hard to get way above an A minus? Like to bring it up, it has to be bigger than that. I mean, just adding another A minus to it is not going to bring it up. It has to be bigger than an A minus. Do you get that an A minus is like a 90%-ish? Okay. So then if you want to bring that up, there's not that much higher than a 90%. Like, what are you going to get? A 95? You're only going to be at, cell phone, backpack. The only thing you're going to get is a tiny increase. Okay, so if you have an A minus already, it's really hard to make it grow. Now, could you make it fall though? Yeah, it's actually the opposite thing on an A minus. If you end up with a C on the final, your A minus was really hard to get, but it's easy to lose. And it could be very easy to go down to like a B plus instead of an A minus. All right, so that's one of the downsides to high grades is it's really hard to make a high grade higher. Now, those of you that want your C to go up, good news. If you're able to pull off an A, which is hard to do when you've gotten a C all along, but if you can, it's actually fairly easy to raise a low grade because you can get something way higher than a 70 on the final. You could get like, let's say a 90 on the final, and that's 20% higher. It'll bring it up easy, but it's really hard to raise an A minus. Really fairly easy to raise a C. All right, so now what if you're like, well, what are you saying, Mr. Surveyor? I can't raise my grade anymore, so I should just quit? No, because if your A minus can easily go down, what you're mostly trying to do at the finals time is to play defense. You're mostly trying to not make your grade go down. Because if you have an A minus right this second, that doesn't mean you get to keep it. If your last test ends up being like a C, it'd be fairly easy to make it go down. The vast majority of you will stay right where you are right now, but some of you will give up on finals and be like, it's just too much. I'm tired. I got 5 classes to have finals that I have to study for, and I just don't have time for this math final. And if you just don't study and don't take it serious, you could be one of the kids that drops a grade, or not a whole grade, but a half a grade, and goes down to the B plus. Don't let that happen to you. Just try hard enough so that you can at least keep your grade. Okay, and for a few of you, just a few, you're at the right on the edge, and a 92.5 is what you need to get a straight A. A lot of you like straight A's. And you're at a 92. Well, you're so close. You could be close enough to raise your grade with the final. Do you get if you have a 92 and you get a 95? That is higher, and therefore it should bring you up a little bit. And maybe that's all you need is a little bit. So it's the time of year where you start seeing, like, am I going to be able to raise or lower my grade? And moral of the story is it still counts. This is not the time to give up. And I know you're tired and you're sick of studying and stuff, but take this packet really seriously. If there's anything in the packet that confuses you, you got to come up and ask me for help. All right? But I don't want to do a long review that covers tons of stuff because I don't think you'll be able to concentrate that long. But I really want to encourage you to ask me for help if you're stuck on something, okay? Because I can help you one-on-one super fast to get through any of the problems in the packet. Okay, let's just do a couple that I think would benefit you, one of which is everybody try writing this down. Your refrigerator, let's abbreviate fridge, okay? Your refrigerator costs $800. And you got one of these warranties, or you can pay $100 to get the warranty. There's a 10% chance your fridge is going to break. Is this a smart warranty to buy or not? And sometimes it might be smart and it's obvious. And other times it might be like, well, I had some kids give a really good answer and I had to give them credit. even though the expected value came out negative, they would say like, but it's not like way worse and it isn't very negative. It was only like negative $30 expected value. And so then it's worth it. I'm only paying a little bit for peace of mind. So if the refrigerator breaks, I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so there are times when buying the insurance is smart. All right, so let's see if you can do this. And the way we did it was with a chart. We made a chart that said there was two things that could happen. Your fridge is going to work or it's going to break. Does anybody give you money if you call them up and say, hey, my fridge is working? No. So there's a probability this happens and there's an amount you get. And you always do the probability times the amount and then you add it all up and you factor in the warranty cost. I'm going to pause for a second while you try this one and see what is the expected value. Remember, EV is P times the A, then add. And remember, if you have a working fridge, the amount you get is nothing. If you have a broken fridge and you bought the warranty, they're going to give you money. They're going to give you your whole fridge back. I know in the real world, it's usually just a repair warranty, but in ours, they'll give you all $800 if your fridge breaks because you bought the warranty. But don't forget to factor in the $100. If you never use this number, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to pause while you give that one a try. Okay, let's see how you did. The probability that it works. Well, if 10% of them break, then how many of you figured out that it'd be a 90% probability that would work? Right? Doesn't that make sense? If 10% break, 90% work. And then the amount you get if it works is nothing. I said that out loud several times. And the amount you get if it breaks is 800 because you get all your money back if the thing breaks. And then you multiply those together and you get $80. But then you paid 100 for it, negative 20. Does that mean it's automatically stupid to do? No, because you're not losing much money on average. That's the expected value right there, by the way, negative 20. And you bought insurance, so you don't have to worry about your fridge going out. And yeah, it costs you a little bit, but you might end up not having to worry about it. Therefore, it might be smart. Okay, let's talk about a few other things that I'm like worried about you when it comes. I'm not worried about you, but like things that I would think you might make mistakes on. Pizza, Chipotle. If I say, what is the probability? Oh, and I'm going to put 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.1 like that. What's the probability of Chipotle? Don't say it, write it. What's the probability of pizza and Chipotle? What's the probability of pizza or Chipotle? Practice that for a second. Let's see if you remembered those right. I'll pause and give that a shot. Let's see how you did. Vivian, what do you say about the probability of C? Picking a kid who likes Chipotle. 0.7. A lot of kids have 0.4 right there. Can you explain why you said 0.7?
Because it's the Chipotle and then also the 0.3 in the middle.
Yeah, both of these sets of kids like Chipotle. Both of them do. If you ask them, these kids, do you like Chipotle? Well, of course, they're in that circle. But these like Chipotle and they also like pizza. They're not, if you just ask them, do you like Chipotle? They'll say yes. So both of those together. All right, and is a small answer. And that's the 0.3. Or is a big answer, and it's all of these together, and that's 0.9. Who had all three of those right? Okay, awesome. Next, let's review stats for a minute, because it's for sure on the test. It's fairly recent, but you might have already forgotten some stuff. The normal curve. Do you remember me saying that IQs follow the normal curve? And that 100 is the normal IQ? Normal means average in this case. Okay, if 100 is normal, yet almost everybody is not normal. Nobody is average when it comes to this. Usually a little above or a little below. I said in this class on average, we'd be a little above because we don't limit super smart kids from here, but because this is kind of a harder math class, the kids that would be here probably aren't in this class because it's it's a high level high school math class. So we probably have an above average, but we're still going to act like it's average. So we'll leave it as 100. Then my question is, if I tell you the standard deviation for a normal group of people is 15, I'm going to change it though, because in our class, I think we're a little closer, a little tighter than that. Like, I don't think we're as spread out as that. So I'm going to make the standard deviation 10. You should be able to label all 5 lines here. I'm trying to make this real life for this class, so these numbers actually probably apply to this class. I know we're off a little bit, but I'm trying to tweak it to be more interesting and more useful to you than just made up numbers. Christian, where does the 100 go? Right in the middle. And this first line up, what does that go to? 110. And then 120. And then it goes down 10. It goes to 90 and it goes to 80. All right. And then this will be given to you. 34% here, 34% there. What if I asked you, what percent of kids be between 90 and 110 IQs in here? What percent of kids will be between 90 and 110 IQ? Yep, add those up. What if I said, what percent of kids will be above 100 IQ? 50. Adding up all of these would add up to 50. Very good. And some of these get to be kind of obscure little decimals. Again, we'll give those to you, but you just add them all up. So what if I said, what percent of kids are above a 90 IQ? We'd add up this and all these weird little decimals that you'll be given on the test. You just add those all up. That's all you got to do. Once you know that this is the number we care about, if they wanted above 90, we'd add all those up. If we wanted below 90, we'd add up all the little percents that are in here. But you'll be given those. All right. Here's a question I was amazed how many people got wrong last time I gave it. What's the range of this list of 3 numbers? I know the median, it's 10. I know you could do the average, you just add them up, divide by 3. But I was shocked how many kids got the range wrong. Do you know what you do to get the range? Take the biggest minus the smallest. So the range is 20. Get that? Okay. Next, do you remember putting things in on the calculator to create the 5-number summary? Okay, so let's imagine for a minute that we got these 5 numbers. The min was 8, Q1 was 10, Q3 was 15, and the max was 20. Would you please label as much as you can on this box plot? You should know where to put stuff. And then you should be able to tell me what I left out. That's it. All right. I hope you knew that the min, the smallest number, just goes right here. And the max goes here. And the Q1 is here. And the Q3 is here. What didn't I ever tell you? The median. And that goes in the middle-ish. But on the test, we could actually make you line it up on a number line, where all these numbers have to line up with something on the number line. Now, some of you guys just tried to do it this way. And you were like, oh, I'll call this 8, and I'll call this 10, and I'll call this 15, and I'll call this 20. Then all of a sudden, this is 5 units, and this is 2 units from there to there. That doesn't make any sense. You can't just slap the numbers on the number line. You got to do it the other way around. You got to make your number line perfect, where you just pick numbers like between 8 and 20. So if I pick this to be 8, then I got to call this, I can count by 2s if I want. Then this has to be 10 and 12 and 14 and 16 and 18, and this is 20. You got to count by something. You can't just label any number you want on a number line. Number lines have to be even. And then you draw your box plot in and go 8 to 10 is like here, 10 to 15 is like there, and then from 15 to 20 is like a long whisker out there. That's how the box plot should look. Keep the numbers organized on the number line. Okay. So, for the next few minutes, we're going to do something to break up the monotony of just working on that same review packet over and over again. We're going to do this little in-class quiz, I guess you could call it. Just do your best on it, and I'm going to give you a partner to work on it with. And hopefully, in the next about 15 minutes or so, you'll be all done, and then we'll read off the answers and see how you did. All right, so this is an in-class little quiz. Your job is to then finish your review packet over the weekend, or get close at least. Then on Monday, we'll review and have more question time. Starting Tuesday is when finals start. It depends on which hour, you know, but Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, you'll take the final. All right, that's all I got for the video for today.